Hello and welcome back to Monster Hunter Double Cross, where today we're facing off against our last G1 Deviant. I am looking forward to not hearing the Deviant music for a long time. But yes, it is time for us to take care of a Hellblade Glavenus, which was once the only one of the Fated Four to be a Deviant, and which was also once positioned as the strongest Deviant, or at least supposed to be. But now it most certainly is not, because that title is meant to belong to the Deviant Diablos. So we're not going to need these. Probably not these. And not those. And I would like to bring... I'm not going to need all those, but... I would like to bring more shock traps. For the simple reason that they make it easier to cut his tail. So let's actually get rid of one of these books. We're not going to need all 5 of them, because shock traps are easier than pit traps. In fact, if we go to combine right now, and we just take a look, yeah, 100%. No problem. So what else do we want to bring? We want to bring some deodorant just in case. Because there is blast involved. And sometimes it's easier to use deodorant than to roll 3 times. Like, say, if your weapon is put away when you're aerial style. Okay, we have 2 load screens to go. So yeah, we definitely want to cut this Glavenus' tail. I'm pretty sure for Hellblade the tail is a health cut, so it'll need to be low health before we can actually get it. But I am definitely going to be going for it. He was about to get his tail blasty, but then a cat interrupted him with the whole enraging deal. I appreciate that. Also, this seems to be a relatively small Hellblade. Because as with most deviants, they are supposed to be bigger than the standard ones. The standard version of the monster. And this doesn't seem to be a super huge Glavenus. I mean, it's kind of big, just... it's not on the larger end of what Hellblades can be. Ow. I am glad that if you're in that little pocket to the left of his face when he's doing that move, you're pretty safe. And now he's succeeding in getting his tail blasty. That seems to be a larger explosion than usual. And if that is the case, I'm worried. I do know that Hellblade's supposed to be, like, bigger explodey with the tail slam, because they showed that off in one of the trailers. That doesn't mean I gotta like it. Did he always send out clouds of powder when he bit? Or is that new? Took all of my restraint to not attack in the air there. Because I knew that if I did, I would not get rid of the blast. And getting rid of the blast is important. Oh. It leaves big clouds of blast when it does that move with a blasty tail. I'm not a fan of that. Oh boy. I wish I had Bioresearcher, but I needed Cap Guru. Ow. Needed Cap Guru so that I wouldn't run the risk of failing the quest just because. Okay, that is definitely a big explosion that I do not want any part of. Thankfully, it's got a big, obvious tell. I just don't know if it's big and obvious enough for us to get out of the way if we've got our weapon out. Because that was a very wide explosion. It's got me a little worried, is what I'm trying to say here. That poor Larinoth. He is enraged, but I still want to take the chance at going for that tail when he gets in this trap. Oh, hey, he left rage. That's great. Ooh, and his tail went non-blasty, which means I don't have to worry about prematurely ending this trap by exploding it. We have done a lot of tail damage, which is great. More tail damage is better, because more tail damage means that we can get the tail broken and actually severed. Ow. I forgot he had that move in G rank. Ow. Cat, please help. I don't have stamina or health. Yeah, being a distraction is helpful enough. Wow, this is our first non-max potion we're using against him, which is interesting. Means that I've been doing a pretty good job of avoiding his attacks, but it also means that I've been doing a pretty bad job of healing when I need to. Or maybe I've just been taking lots of damage all at once, and that's all that that's saying. But yeah, if we can get that tail severed, then he can't make it blasty anymore, and that is a thing that I want. Because if he can't do that giant ultra super explosion of probable pain and ow, then that's good for me, I would assume. Ow. It wouldn't surprise me if that super ultra explosion, given the duration of its wind-up, would just so happen to be his most powerful move. Then again, it's also his widest range, so it might not be his most powerful. Well, actually, it's not his widest range. That would be the grab onto the tail and then sweep thing. Oh, hey, tail's not blasty. That's good. I'm glad that unlike Thunderlord and some other monsters, he doesn't decide to finish his powered-up state with a giant explosion of pain and ow. Because, yeah, Thunderlord and Teostra, they both have very specific ways that they end their powered-up state, and it's not pleasant. Okay. All right, he is being good and letting us finish this. Not among the harder rides. I was trying to talk about even during Rage. Unfortunately, that tail did kind of get us on the wrong side there. A little bit my fault. Actually, all of it my fault. I did a dumb. And that was a good flinch. Of course, he's not done yet. Interesting. His tail's blasty, but he didn't leave behind blast. Does he need his face to be blasty? That would actually make some sense, because the face being blasty is what lets him actually do blast stuff that isn't just an explosion there on the spot. It's what lets him do powder clouds. That's an interesting chain, doing a tail sweep into that. I don't like when your face is blasty, buddy, because it makes me get exploded like that. I don't like that. Being exploded, not among my favorite things. Which really you wouldn't expect, considering how much I enjoy Bracky and Teo and a lot of things that use blast. But turns out I do not enjoy being exploded. Maybe it's just the dodging of explosions that gets me going. Could be. Wow. Nice aim. That poor tree. Apparently I am almost out of flashes. That's okay. What was I going to do? I was going to do something involving items. But what was it? It might have been putting this trap down, so I'll do it now, but I think there was something else that I was going to do. Ow. Oh, great. He's blasty tail. Thanks, Conga. Okay. As much as I appreciate the SP, that was terrible placement for your trap. Why would you put it on top of my trap? That's a huge waste. Now he's not poisoned or pitted. He could have been both. There's the tail. Right, that's what I was going to do. I was going to check the sub, because I was assuming it was the tail. And the fact that the tail came off now is making me think that perhaps it is not an HP break. Because if he is below 30% right now, then I will be surprised. And wow, he's got me in a corner here, and I am not doing well with that. Because, yeah, I know we've done a lot of damage to his tail, but we haven't done a lot of damage to anything else. We've gotten the tail break and the back break, and wow, that was some high wind. But yeah, only the tail and the back breaks is a thing. Also, that was just a regular Glavenus tail. G rank, but still nothing Hellblade-centric. I am so glad his tail cannot do blast no more. Ow. And now, if we get any knockdowns, we have the ability to just go straight for that face, which is great. Face takes damage. So let's put this down here and hope that he's going to stick around long enough to get into it. Hopefully without murdering me in the process. Okay. I need to get better at dodging those from a distance. Or he needs to get worse aim. One of the two. Come on, buddy. Just right over here. Okay. I mean, you hit a conga. That's something. Ow. Well, not ow. Because I cut the tail. Ha-ha. Ordinarily, I'd be jumping on his face and trying to burst it, but I think I'm better off just going for hits. His face stopped being blasty, which is good, but it also means that I can't get a knockdown into Sparkly from it, which is bad. Because trying to get that knockdown in Sparkly is why I moved from getting him directly in the face to getting him in the throat when he was in that trap. So I realized towards the beginning there that, hey, if I want to actually get that face discharged, I need to hit the throat, not the face. Okay, now we've got health to work with. And plenty of supplies to make our health continue to exist. Look at you. Moving away from us and then doing a spin like that. Oh, and then leaving? Okay. So this shock is our last trap, though there will be another one in the item box should we end up back in base camp for any reason. But hopefully it won't come to that. If it does, it means that we get to use another trap for damage, which is nice. But I would just as soon not need it. And I do believe that was our last break, because we got the arms to flinch him there, and then we got the second horn. Yeah. We have full breaks on this Glavenus. This guy, he yells in times when it's inconvenient for me. Doesn't he know? Oh. Was that the Macau that did that? Good job, little buddy. Okay, no. I do not need this in my life. As cool as an animation it is to see that happen to someone else, it's not pleasant when it happens to you. Again? Yeah, Macau, keep him off me. Seriously, though, good job, Macau, for getting his neck discharged. Shouldn't be too far away from another ride. Right? Or was it a ride that I used to get the tail cut? I'm not sure. Also, ow. I really shouldn't have done this jump here. Or this one. Or even that one, because that one didn't even work. Okay, that helps. That helps a lot. Having health to throw around is good. I am glad that's there to get rid of Blast. Buddy, I need you to actually stay where I can hit you. And I also need to have sharpness. Because if I'm going for a ride, I want to be at purple sharp when it ends. Ow. But hey, we've got water, so Fireblight's back. You jerk. Oh, snap. Got the ride during his little run by fireball. And he basically gave the ride to me. So yeah, can definitely confirm at this point. Tail, not a health break. Which is really kind of bizarre, considering that his tail is such a big part of what he can do. The fact that you can break it so early on, I mean, it's not really that early, but it's early enough to make the fight a lot easier for the second half. I feel like they probably should have made Hellblade's tail a health break. Would have made the monster much more difficult to deal with. Okay, can you stop biting me? And maybe leave the area? Huh? Could you do that? Okay, good. And as soon as we get him in this trap, we're going to be done with all the G1 deviants. That'll be nice. Darn wind. Okay, now's our chance. So just going to pre-trank him, because he wasn't going to stay in that shock trap very long because he'd been in a couple already. And now we're done with all the G1 deviants, which means there's not going to be any episodes with any deviants for a long time. I mean, there's not that much else for me to actually do video-wise, but not going to be deviants. Not for a while. Eventually I'll get the higher level deviants unlocked and show them off just to see their new moves, but that's going to be a while down the road. There might end up being a hiatus before that happens. Because, yeah, I don't want to have like 5 weeks of content just be, hey, look at this deviant again. Really? All the same thing in all the rare 7 ones? I feel cheated. But yeah, I don't want to have like, oh, yeah, he was among the smaller Hellblades. But yeah, don't want to have like 5 weeks of content be just deviants and deviants and deviants. It would actually be about 6 weeks if I was to, maybe 7 weeks if I was to do all the deviants, get all of their G3s unlocked, and then do the G3s. Because there are 18 deviants, so that would be another 36 hunts that I would have to do. Yeah, that's a lot of time. Anyway, that's it for this episode. Join us next time when we take on a G-Rank Elatrion. See you then, friends.